Hello, I'm Jo Halcrow and I'm the Spiritual Gateway. I'm going to do a past life session. My client today is Marcus. So normally with my past life sessions, we just go with the flow and see what comes up. But actually, Marcus has had a previous session and he has got a specific question. So Marcus, over to you. Tell me what you want to achieve by the end of this past life regression.
Cheers, Joe. Yeah, just for everybody, I've worked with Joe before, and the reason why I've come back is because I really want to support her doing this. But I've got a specific question, so
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be interesting to see if we kind of ask a question, what could come through, and also given I'm not going to call myself a channeler, but since doing Reiki and stuff like that, I have had channeled messages, I have had stuff come through. So this is not my personal experience of doing this stuff. I don't do this as part of my own practice, and that's why I've come to you. So
I think this could be a very interesting session. I'm really excited for it.
yeah.
As I say, normally we just go to where we go, but always you see the past life that you're meant to see. So, and I always, with my sessions, take you to the death scene and then I find out what happens after. So, and then I call forward a spirit guide and ask what the lessons were from that life. And always, even though it appears to be random and we don't ask specific questions like this, the spirit guide will tell my clients certain things and my clients will always say, oh my God, that's why I needed to see that, because this is happening in my life now and this is the message that I needed to get. So actually we think it's random, but I'm convinced now it's not random. You're taken back to where you're meant to go.
Yeah.
Even if the life seems quite mundane and nothing really happens, there's something within that you're meant to see. So I think without further ado, let's crack on. I've got your question here, Marcus. So I'll talk about the question during the hypnosis. We'll do the induction and then we'll go straight into it and see what happens and what comes up.
Cool.
If you don't go back specifically around this question, you'll go back to something that will mean something to you.
Yes, let's just do it. Let's just do it and see where it goes.
Right. Are you sitting comfortably?
I am. I'm going to caveat that I am on a chair that has got wheels, but it's not moving anywhere. So if I fall off the chair, it will be hilarious, but it's my fault.
Well, we're recording it, so I'll keep that.
you know, with the blooper reel.
Okay. So for the purpose of recording, if you're watching this session, you are not going to see the induction of this, but you are going to see the session. I just wanted to put that in if you are wondering. So it's not just instantaneous. I am going to do an induction. I am going to put Marcus under hypnosis, but you're just not going to see that part.
Okay.
Time is spinning faster and faster behind this door. It's going faster and faster until it gets to the past life where you're able to understand what's going on. How can you unlock the generational barrier of stepping into abundance? The life that you need to see is now behind that door. Time has stopped at exactly the right past life for you. When you step through this door in a moment, you can step indoors or outdoors. So I want you now to see yourself, put your hand on that door, open that door, step through that door into that past significant life where you're going to find out the answer to your question. You're stepping through that door. I want you to take a few more steps forward and really just adjust to whether you've stepped indoors or outdoors, and tell me, Marcus, where have you stepped to? Are you indoors or outdoors?
Indoors.
And is it day or night?
I think it's night. I can't really tell.
Okay. And I want you just to become really aware of yourself and tell me, are you male or female?
Male.
And tell me, are you an adult or child?
Adult.
So now I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. And when I get to 1, you're going to be able to tell me the answer. You're going to say the first thing that pops into your mind. So when I count down from 3 to 1, you're going to be able to tell me exactly how old you are. So 3, 2, 1, what's your age?
43.
Okay. You're going to be able to tell me your name, even if it's just the first name. Say the first thing that pops into your mind. So 3, 2, 1, what's your name?
Jacob.
Say that again.
Jacob.
Jacob. Perfect. And I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. And when I get to 1, you're going to be able to tell me what year this is. So 3, 2, 1, the year is
1402.
1402. So you're Mal, you're 43, your name's Jacob, it's 1402. Which country, whereabouts in the world are you? I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. When I get to 1, you're going to be able to tell me. So 3, 2, 1, where are you?
It's strange because initially I thought England and then France came in.
Okay. Well, what
Well,
we're doing,
I think I know the reason because I thought um I think I'm on a ship
ah, okay,
sailing from England to
to
France.
France.
So I'm not
Okay.
too sure, but that's what it feels like now. That's why it
Yeah.
confused me. It looks as though I'm in transit on a ship.
Okay. That's perfect. So that was my next question, to really look around and see exactly where you are. You're on a ship. Who are you on there with?
So it looks as though that's the reason why at first when I stepped through the door, I thought I was in a like a dungeon.
Okay.
I could see what looked like slippery like rocks and chains, like what a dungeon would be.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
I kind of look at as I'm there now, I could feel that my footing wasn't quite right, and and the wall was kind of curved. But as I've kind of really focused, I've got a massive headache, by the way. As I was focusing on it, what I could see was it was all black. I thought it was slime, but what I think it is, or what it appears to be, and why I thought it was rock, is it looks like it's like tar or bitumen,
Okay.
and I can smell like smoke,
Yeah.
which I think is coming from like lanterns. It's kind of a very
Yeah.
kind of smell.
What are you doing on that ship? Are you going over to France for a specific reason?
I've got there's a few people in there, but I can't I can't see. As soon as I walked through the door, what I could see was feet, what looked like my foot with shackles, and I can feel as though I can't see it, I can feel as though I've got shackles on my hands and my
Okay.
feet.
So you're a prisoner.
Yeah.
Okay. And why is it that you're going to France? What's the idea behind that as a prisoner? Why are you being taken to France?
I'm not sure, but the word that's just come up is I've been betrayed. It's as though I'm being traded for some,
Okay.
as though I've been betrayed by somebody, and I'm being traded for some reason.
Okay. That's fine. Excellent. Are there others that are prisoners as well?
Yeah, as I walked in, I could kind of see the face of somebody else that was kind of scarred and beaten.
Yeah.
And initial thought was, "Mm, I shouldn't be here. This isn't my type. I'm not a criminal. I shouldn't be here."
No.
And it feels quite putrid and wretched. I feel it like I can't really smell it. I can smell this acrid smoke, but I literally feel sick.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's move this on slightly. Let's get to the point where you arrive in France. I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. And when I get to 1, you're going to arrive at your destination and see yourself coming off that ship and what happens next. So we're at 3, moving forward to that part. 2, going forward to when you arrive in France. 1, you're there now. You've arrived in France. Tell me what's happening.
So it's sunny, so my eyes are kind of squint,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of confused and dazed, and I can hear like the jingling of chains, and there's kind of it's really busy, cargo's being um offloaded off this ship, but there's people on the dockside throwing stuff at everybody. There's quite a few people, what I'm going to say, like slaves, prisoners, that kind of thing. But whatever's happened, people are throwing like rotten fruit at us.
Okay. How does that make you feel?
I'm just, I'm just confused. It's kind of the word that's just come in is I'm nobility. Why am I here? I'm just, this is so far away from the life that I've lived that I don't understand it. And I'm scared.
Okay.
All my power's been kind of taken away. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As though, and all the people that are around me are just normal sailors. It's as if they don't care. They don't care who I am. They don't care. It's just as they're doing a job. They don't care who you are, and then you're just being pushed and shoved, and yeah, it just feels horrible, and I don't know where I'm going, what's going to happen.
No. Okay. So let's go back to who you were before this happened. I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. And when I get to 1, you're going to be able to tell me exactly who you were, and what you did. So we're going back to that scene. 3, going back to 1. You're there now. So what did you do before this all happened?
So this came up just as we were going through the garden, actually. Um, and this has just come up again. So I'm the son of a viscount.
Okay.
Um,
So you had quite a nice life.
yeah, it's weird because at first it felt as though I was in Sussex, which is really weird because I know that's where you are. But then Hertfordshire has just come up. It was as if I was kind of focusing on that I was in Sussex, but I think I'd been living in Sussex, but my ancestral home was in Hertfordshire,
Okay.
and I'd moved out of the ancestral home because I'd had a breakup with my father, who was kind of this is really weird, was the supporter of saying the king. I don't even know who the king was at what 14
Yeah.
months. So that'll be interesting. So it's as though we had like political differences, and I didn't believe in the way that things were going. I was quite although I was nobility, I liked nature. I liked being out in nature. So I liked people, and it was
Okay.
as if I had to live this kind of noble life and be mean and cruel and horrible. And I was basically cast out from the ancestral home, but I went to live in Sussex. Um, and whatever's happening within the country, they were finding all the people that weren't supportive of the king and rounding them up. So
Okay.
I was living in not a small house, in a nice kind of manor
Yes.
house. So not a big, nice as in beautiful, and just surrounded by a walled garden, and it was just
But not the big
abundant.
house that you were used to.
Yeah, but it was beautiful. It didn't. I still felt it still felt palatial. It still felt as though I was living an amazingly abundant life, and but
Okay.
a true abundant life. So I didn't need the status. I didn't need any of that. And there was dogs and there's all that sort of stuff around. So I was happy that I was kind of doing my own thing and didn't need any of that. But it seems to have followed me, and now
Yeah.
I was and then stuck on this ship, and it's like, what have I done wrong? I just had a disagreement, and all of a sudden my whole family has turned on me, and I'm being traded.
Okay.
It's as if alliances are being formed, and a penance had to be paid in a life, and it's my life that's been traded. So I feel
Okay.
betrayed.
So I'm going to ask you, and I just want you, out of curiosity, I'm going to ask you who the king is. Just say the first thing that comes into your mind. It makes no difference either way, but just out of curiosity, I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. When I get to 1, you're going to be able to tell me exactly who the king is. So 3, 2, 1. Who's the king?
The word that comes up is Harold,
Okay.
but I think there might be some dispute. So the word that's come up is Harold, but there seems to be a dispute about who the true king actually is. So
Okay.
it feels as though Harold is the true king. I don't know who was and what was happening, but it seems as though that was the true English king at the time. But there was lots of infighting and lots of, for some reason, I don't know why, there's kind of a connection between France, England, and kind of Sweden, Norway, kind of the Scandinavian countries. And for some reason, the Harold seems to be linked with that
Okay.
those Scandinavian countries. I don't know, but that's just what's flowing through at the moment.
Okay, that's fine. We will have a look at that um afterwards to see how that lines up. That was just a question out of curiosity.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So what we're going to do now is
Got
I'm going
such
to
a
count
headache,
down.
by the way. I've got
Okay.
it's like a migraine.
Okay, this is because you're seeing it all so vividly.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, I'm going to count down from 3 to 1, and we're going to go to the next scene. You're in France, you're settled, and you're going to know exactly what happens next. So we're at 3, 2, 1. You're back in France. What's happening now?
So we're going down kind of like a gangplank, and we're all kind of chained up to each other. And everybody just looks kind of really grubby and disheveled. We're hungry, we're thirsty, and there's like it's like four horses. So as I'm going down to my left hand side, there's like barrels on the side.
Yeah,
And at the side of the actual the dock, I guess, is kind
yeah,
of all cobbled, and there's lots of people around. And as we're walking down, there's people jeering and throwing stuff at us. And there's a
yeah,
big cart which has got bars on it, but they're like, if you imagine it's like square and they're
yes,
bars, and where the intersection of the crosses of each bar comes in, they're made of wood, and there's like steel pins going through it, not
okay,
steel pins, and then a step going up, and the horses are starting to rear up, and everybody's just being shoved in. There doesn't look as, for the amount of people, there doesn't look as though there's enough room to get everybody.
yeah,
And apparently, we're going to Paris.
okay. So let's move forward to get to the point where you arrive in Paris. We're at 3, 2, 1. Arrive in Paris now. Tell me what's happening now.
So we're in Paris, but we're kind of in Paris, but in like a suburb. I don't know where it is. All I can see, I'm it's very difficult to see because my head is kind of squished up against other people and I can hardly breathe. And it kind of smells the stench. And it's very noisy, and yeah, I don't know, but there's lots of buildings. It looks as though, from what I can see, I can just see through a little gap. There's kind of like a stone. It looks like a church here, and
Okay.
I can
Is
hear
that where you're going?
it. It feels like that's where we're going to be going. Going into this church.
Okay. So let me count down from 3 to 1. And when we get to 1, I want you to see yourself going inside of that church. So 3, 2, 1. You're inside that church now. What's happening now?
So I'm the only one that's gone in there. It's as if I've been pulled out,
Okay.
and there's I'm going to call it a vicar. I don't know, vicar, padre.
Yeah.
It's kind of, so I've gone through the door, and it's quite a simple church. It's quite big, but it's quite simple.
Yeah.
And the kind of the padre is there. He's got like a white cowl, a black kind of jacket with like puffed out
Yeah.
shoulders there, and it's a bit like like Orthodox Christian type regalia. It
Yeah.
looks a bit like that sort of thing. And I'm just stood there just wondering what's going on. And he's just mumbling stuff in Latin. And there's a couple of nuns that are there, and it looks as though it feels a little bit peaceful, as if they're there to kind of be with me.
Okay.
So I don't feel as anxious, but I don't know what the hell's going on. But it's
Okay.
that they're going to be looking after me in my final days. That's the sense that I'm getting, but nobody's really saying anything. And now they're
Okay.
walking me down what would, let's call it, the aisle to,
Yeah.
and as we walk down, so the kind of the priest is in front of me, and he's got one of those
Yeah.
things and switching that, and then like the nuns and a few other people are behind me, and then we're going to go right in towards a room on the right hand side.
So they're Catholics because nuns are Catholic. That swingy thing is a Catholic thing.
Yeah,
And the priest. Yeah. So
yeah.
they're Catholics. So where are you going? What's in that room?
Well, as we go into the room, it's kind of, it looks like it's got a table and a little bit of a stove, so it looks as though it's kind of like where the clerics would have their something to eat, but we're going round and we're going up a wooden staircase up towards the bell tower.
Okay. And what are you going to do up there? Is that
So
where you're kept?
yeah, so we're winding up what is looks like a wooden, so it's stone, but like with a wooden staircase, and we're going up, and we're going into a room, and the room is kind of just it's just wooden floors, and it's not right in the top of the bell tower, but it's just a room with a window,
Very
a
low.
small window with wrought iron. It's like black wrought iron, and there's a wind coming through there, um, and it's the breeze is quite nice, but there's nothing in the room. And as I walk in, the next minute I can just hear like as if like a, a door bolt has been closed behind me.
So
What's
that's where.
new is that I'm Protestant, so I've kind of denounced the Catholic Church.
Right.
That's why it feels as though that's why they're not speaking to me, because I don't believe in all of that. It's kind of as if it's like repression, and I didn't believe in it, and I'd been heard about all these different things and paganism, and so I was very curious about various different things, not from a horrible point of view, but I wanted to be able to see the whole of what the world was, not just one message.
Yeah.
So although they were nice in regards to they didn't beat me or they'd not done anything, it's as though they're doing God's duty by locking me up there.
Yeah. Okay. How do you feel?
I feel as though this is the last days of my life, but I'm
Okay.
not too sure why. I've never put myself out there so I've never denounced anything or said that anything's wrong or that they should. I haven't been like an activist. I had my opinions, and that's why went to the countryside.
Yeah.
And I've been like a scholar, and I've just been trying to learn about all the different things. And then I've been taken from my home and put in there, and it's as though somebody has to. I've been blamed for an uprising.
Something.
Yeah, it sounds like it's an uprising, and because I'm nobility, they needed a scapegoat.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
my father's trying to find favor with the king and the Catholic Church.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So let's move forward then. So let's go to the next significant scene. I'm wondering if this is going to be your death scene, Marcus. So I want you to prepare to see that, see what happens. How do you live out your days? I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. And when I get to 1, you're going to be there at that last scene. So 3, 2, 1. Tell me what's happening now.
Well, this is really interesting because before we kind of did this and when we were doing like the induction, I saw my head on gallows, but now I'm seeing it as if I'm walking up towards the gallows. The gallows are exactly the same thing. So if you imagine I've got my head on, I'm looking out to the crowd. This time
Yeah.
walking through the crowd. But what's really weird is that everything's dead silent. So
Okay.
when I was in the docks, everybody was throwing stuff at me, but there seems to be an air of pity.
Yeah.
People are there because they've got to be there, but it doesn't seem right, as if they know that there's an injustice about to happen, but they've
Yeah.
been told that they have to be there.
Okay.
So I'm walking through the crowd as I'm coming up here. The crowd are here, and I have got people spitting at me now as I get towards. There's some stairs that have been, well, when I say stairs, it's like a step that's wood that's been lashed with rope onto a platform, and I've got shackles on my hands and on my feet, and the feet shackles are being undone, and I'm being pushed up, and I can see that my shirt is like like a blouse on shirt, like a really
Yeah.
big blousey shirt, but it's grey and dirty, and I've got like leather trousers, like 3/4 length leather, like jodhpur type things on that are just they're just minging my feet and my hands, and I'm just dirty and disheveled, and my hair is my hair's weird because it's as if normally I'd be used to having a wig. So my hair is kind of all unkempt and grey actually. And as I go, so I'm kind of seeing like myself going up, but I'm also seeing myself from the outside as well, as if like I'm looking at it's really weird. So I'm getting
Yeah.
two aspects of it. I'm getting me going up, but I'm also seeing like two scenes. It's like it's split in half. So I'm visualizing myself as though I'm going up onto this platform. I'm actually crawling because I'm so weak, but then I'm also seeing that happen. And as I go up, I can see there's like blood. It's like it's not fresh blood. It's obviously where other people have been executed. Uh,
Okay. So let's get to that point then. I'm going to count down from 3 to 1, and when I get to 1, you're going to see yourself take your last breath, and then you're going to see what happens after. So we're at 3, 2, 1. Can you see yourself?
I can't see anything, but what just before you said one, what I heard was
Okay. So do you think you've had your head guillotined off?
I do, but it feels as that I can't see anything, but as that happened,
No.
it looked as though it felt as though I stood up.
Okay.
So I'd gone from having this wooden, and it's not like it doesn't. It's weird because it sounded like a French, like the French guillotines, like the traditional
Yeah.
kind of guillotine. But as I was walking up, I could see a a very big guy in leather, that typical thing with a big axe. So I'm not sure whether how my head's been
How it happened.
how it's happened, but then I've stood up and all I can see it's it's as if I can see the crowd and I can see everything, but it's in shadow. Does that make sense? As if
Yeah.
the veil of a shadow. And as I'm kind of
So
as I'm looking out, people are now just starting to peter away as if, oh well, that's
it's
it.
done.
Over. It's
Yeah.
done. Nothing else to see here.
So you're seeing it, you're dead. Your spirit has come out of your body. That's why you've stood up. But if you look down, Marcus, you'll be able to see your body. So I want you to look down and tell me, can you see your body there?
Yeah, so my hands are tied behind my back. So
Yeah.
they're lashed behind my back.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it does look like a guillotine.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and I can't see. So all I can see as if so if that was the guillotine and my
Yeah.
head, I don't know if you can see that because I've just got my eyes
Yes,
closed.
I can.
So if
Yeah.
that's my body and that's my neck. When I was
Yeah.
in, it's like there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was
Okay.
stiff before. That's how I
Yeah.
felt before it went out. But looking at it now, it's like that. And my back is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so I can't really see my neck, but I can see that it's been severed.
Yeah. Okay. So you're hovering above that because you can see it. So I want you just to go with that. Tell me what's happening now. You're looking down. Are you being drawn up? How is it looking now? What's happening?
So the kind of the executioner has got some other, it's kind of looks like he's cleaning stuff. It's as though like my body's there, but nobody really cares.
No, no.
And I can see now kind of coming around and underneath some, so they've got what I can only describe as like a stretcher or something, but they've
Yeah.
got coverings over their head. It's not a cowl, they've got like
Yeah.
a covering over their head, like they're not nuns, but it's like their faces are
Yeah.
covered, a bit like a hijab type thing.
Yeah.
But very the it's like sackcloth that they're wearing.
Yes.
And
Yes. That makes
so
sense.
so where there's like a trap door. Oh, that's yeah. So he's pulling a lever, and my body is just now dropping and hitting the floor.
Okay.
So there's no kind of dignity in it. It's as if, like on a hangman's,
Yeah, yeah.
like when the trap door goes, it's
And
like,
the body.
and they've just
Yeah.
dropped it, and my body's come down, and then they're picking. Oh, it's not a stretcher. It's like a cart. Like
Yeah.
in the olden days that you'd put hay
They're
in.
just bodies.
Yeah, and they're putting the body in there, and I'm just
As you're looking down at that, Marcus, how does that feel? You're seeing that?
in my throat and in my chest here.
Yeah.
The it's kind of it's like why?
Yeah. So you're still asking those questions. So
Yeah,
what I want you to do now is see what happens next. I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. When I get to 1, you can tell me what happens to your soul, not your body. Your body's now been collected. We want to know what happens. Where's your soul going to go? So we're at 3, 2, 1. Tell me what's happening now.
it's kind of as if it's not been going anywhere. There's like a dark mass that's trying to pull me back, but I'm kind of going, no, I'm not going anywhere until this injustice has been. So it's as though there's like I can't explain what it is. It doesn't feel right. It's as though something's trying to pull me
But
somewhere,
you don't want to go.
but I'm like going, I'm not, yeah, I want my revenge. I want to know what's going on. And it's not revenge as in I want somebody's life. It's kind of why I don't understand this. Why did this
Okay.
happen? I didn't do anything to anybody. It's
Okay. So what I'm going to do now then is I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. And when I get to 1, I'm going to take you back. You're going to be back in that garden that you were in originally, that beautiful, peaceful garden. So we're at 3, 2, 1. You're back in that garden. You see a lovely, comfortable, large bench, and you're going to go and make your way over to that bench and sit on that bench. And as you're sitting on that bench now, you're going to look up and you're going to see someone walking towards you. And that person walking towards you is your spirit guide. You instantly recognize them. They obviously know you. They're coming towards you. They greet you with a big hug and they sit down next to you on this bench. I want you to tell me, your spirit guide, are they male or female?
male, but not as I would have expected a spirit guide to look.
Okay, they never are. And I want you to ask your spirit guide, what's his name?
Daniel.
Okay.
What he actually said was, you know who I am.
Okay. So I want you to ask Daniel, say, what were the lessons from that life that I've just seen? Tell me what the lessons were.
He's saying that's for you to find out in this life. That doesn't happen. And then
Okay.
he's actually laughing.
They do have a really good sense of humor.
Can I just explain, just for the purpose of this, because I just think it's really interesting. So as he came through, he's kind of got black shoes with this is really interesting. So he's not dressed simply, he's dressed very, very flamboyant, as in very kind of opulent,
Yeah.
but he's also kind of a little bit camp, which is a bit strange, very kind of out there and very,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, just,
Like it.
and has got black, so got black buckled shoes with like a bit of a heel on it with like a gold buckle, and then
Yeah.
white socks going up to the knees, and then red trousers with like black and gold, so like black lines going alongside with gold buttons, and then a tunic type red and black kind of tunic with what looks like a stole, like a black stole, and a beard, kind of like Francis Drake type beard, but it's grey
Really.
with grey hair, and then this massive kind of black hat with a white and black plumed feather. And as he's walking down, I say camp, but it's kind of taking the piss camp, not camp, as if he finds it's all funny, but not in a
Yeah.
horrible way funny. It's as
Oh,
though here we go again. It's as though we've had this conversation a million times before.
yeah.
It's as
Yeah.
if it's the same conversation but a different life. So it's
Yeah.
kind of, but I'm
That
completely
makes sense because he would have been with you throughout all your lives. So
okay.
I want you to ask him. I want you to ask him when you was that person, Jacob, in that life, did you eventually go to the light? Can you ask him that? Because we didn't see that. No, you didn't. Did you hang around because you were so upset with being betrayed?
Yeah, the word that comes up is that I still can't see the answer. What he's saying is you
Yeah.
know what the answer is and you keep seeking it, but you can't see the answer. And I feel
What are you, can you ask him? How are you going to see the answer? How are you going to resolve this?
it's just saying because you will. It's just saying you have to trust.
Is it a case of you just forgetting that and moving on? Or is it a case of actually finding something out?
It's interesting because what it's saying is you're overthinking it's simple, which is interesting because that's a word that a lot of people have said, overthinking. It really pisses me off when people say you're overthinking. So that really resonates that he just kind of said that, and I can feel it in my chest that ordinarily
Yeah.
somebody said, which can, and I've never understood the reason why that used to piss me off when people said you're overthinking, which is interesting. And
Ask him, what do you need to do to be able to resolve this? It's all very well him saying you're overthinking it. What is it that you can do to help yourself?
so, what do I need to do to help myself? He's just saying, just remember. What he said is just remember you've already been shown one lifetime where you're abundant and you're betrayed. You've already been actually, it says you've been shown the lifetime in the 1920s when you were betrayed. You were
Yeah.
shown the scene that we had, and I was like, it was
Yeah.
like Neolithic times and I got stabbed in the throat.
Yeah.
Um, and he's saying you've been shown every single time what the answer is. But in this lifetime, what you've been shown is your truth, which you never got this far before. And what he's saying is that you made a decision in this lifetime not to choose death. So he's referring to when I was in the police and wanted to kill myself.
Mm.
Therefore, you've already broken the pattern, but you've still continued to trust people who don't have your best interests at heart. And
Okay. That makes sense.
you've got to trust that you're being guided. And this is really weird because as I'm saying this, I feel, I'm going to describe it. it's kind of like uneasy, like as if you're unbalanced. As I'm doing that now, as I move my head, it feels
Yeah.
like as if you're on a tightrope,
Yes.
and it's just saying you've just got to get over the tightrope and trust. But it literally feels like I'm 1,000 feet up in the air on a tightrope, and it's kind of, yeah, I feel it's like I've got vertigo. It's really weird.
Okay, can you ask him, is there anything else you need to know before you say goodbye to him for now?
All he's saying is you've learnt that when you ask, that we will be there. We can't reveal, and it's interesting, he's saying we can't reveal what your destiny lies because there are multiple paths in which you could take. Just keep asking and trusting, and you will reclaim your right back to being who you truly are.
Okay. So I want you to
He's now
thank
just,
Dad.
he's now just getting up and wandering off.
Yeah. Okay. So thank him.
Rude.
Say thank
Thank you.
And I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. And when I get to 1, Marcus, you're going to open your eyes. So we're at 5, 4, becoming aware. 3, 2, fully aware. 1, when you're ready, open your eyes.
Oh my God. Weird.
I think you were amazing because you were able to give so much detail. But the thing that really struck me was the fact that you didn't move on once you'd been killed, because you were so, I need to know who's betrayed me, who's
Yeah,
betrayed me.
that was really weird.
But
It's as if I explain it, if you imagine, like, say for you imagine your body and you cut it in half.
yeah,
My body was black, so it was like, I've seen that before actually, so my body was black, and then it was as if there was a wisp of blackness. So this half of my body was fully immersed, and
yeah,
kind of doing that. And it was
yeah,
if I was pulling in. It's like I need to. I've
yeah.
got to
You
resolve
you
business.
just wasn't prepared to go because you were so upset about being betrayed.
Mm.
And then this pattern of what's happened over different lives, but as the most telling part for me was talking to your spirit guide and him telling you, you've broken that pattern now. You know what the answer is. It's very simplistic. It's about who you're trusting, who you're putting your trust into, and you have turned a corner, and that actually your spirit guides are there to guide you. And you can do meditation and go to that garden and invite any spirit guide. You've got more than one, you've got hundreds of spirit guides, so you can invite a group of spirit guides in and have a full-blown conversation with them in that garden in your own meditation and get guidance. But
Now,
what I found really,
can I just mention something, because might be really interesting, is that obviously that whole law of attraction and that's the universe and all that, that I'm kind of looking into that and how manifestation happens. And what's really telling from that was, my thing about getting clients, and I went through all that stuff. Now I literally go, universe, send me a client, and I'll get a call. No marketing, I just get a call. And that seemed to be you're now trusting the process. And when I say the process, it's you're kind of getting out of your own way and just knowing that it's yours, and you've just got to. It's as though I'm still being tested on that, so they can't reveal anything else until
they're not going to tell you everything. That the purpose of being here, of living this life, is to learn lessons.
Yeah.
So they're not going to make it easy for you. That's what you've requested. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
But you're learning those lessons, and actually you're learning that the clients will come to you. And I think that's really important.